Citizen FM, based in Nigeria's capital.
Your number one radio station.
And now for something completely different.
Hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are.
What are you talking about?
We are controlling transmission.
It's the Citizen Show with Didi.
I bet it crossed your mind. Stay connected to the Super Citizen Show as we enjoy a great radio experience on 93.7 Citizen FM Abuja. It's the full package.
Another Monday, yes, but it's just any other Monday. It's the Monday before Valentine's Day, and for a lot of people, it's a big day. I mean, Valentine's Day. It's like a very defining moment. Like, oh my God, some people even consider it bigger than Easter celebrations or some religious celebrations. They're like, oh my God, it's Valentine's, and they're shaking their feet, and I'm like, okay, it's Valentine's Day, right? That's all. So like, oh, it's love. In fact, some people begin to celebrate Valentine's from February 1. They say it's the month of love. Everything about Valentine's, everything about love should be celebrated. I'm like, okay, all right, okay. So for people who are making plans for the big day tomorrow, this is a special shout out to you. I just want to say hi to you. Whatever your plans are, I hope that they see the light of day in the face of everything that is going on in the country right now. Scarcity of naira, scarcity of fuel, and other things, and how these things affect other things. I do hope that your plans really do come out great. And please don't forget, for people who are planning to send money bouquets to their boos in the offices and whatever plans you have, please, about the money bouquet, note that it is no longer okay to send money bouquets because according to the Central Bank of Nigeria, you are defacing the naira. It is no longer cool, okay? So squash that plan already. Kill it! Don't do it! Look for other means. That is if you even have the cash. But, you know, there are some things you can't raise your voice very loud to talk about because you never know. People have their connects. Some people are crying, spending weeks on ending at ATMs, at queues, even inside of banks. Some other people have these nairas in hundreds of thousands of cash stashed up somewhere. Remember the arrests that, anti-graft agencies have made in a couple of weeks? Because some people were caught, what's it called now? Spraying the nairas. The new naira notes, let's be specific here. The new naira notes, when some people are gnashing their teeth, crying, weeping, sobbing because of a scarcity of naira. Speaking of banks, though. So recently, it was today actually, that I called up a banker friend of mine, telling the person how that I needed cash, if there was anything the person could do. And the person told me that at their bank, they're only allowed to give out 2,000 naira per individual per day. So for instance now, you have an account with the said bank, you are only allowed to withdraw 2,000 naira from that bank. Some banks are even allowing only 1,000 naira. 1,000 naira. You go and join queue for hours. Then when it's your turn, they will give you 1,000 naira as the only cash you can withdraw over the counter. My brain. When I heard that news, I was like, wait, what? What is going on? Is this thing ending or is it even getting worse? Because my God, just a few people have more strength to carry on. No, really, just a handful more people have strength to carry on the way things are going. Anyways, on that note, I decided to start today, 5:12 p.m., the 13th day of February 2023. Welcome one, welcome all. It is time for Super Citizen at Sunset. Right. Great day it has been so far, right? I hope that office has allowed you to breathe. I hope that your boss is not breathing down your neck. I hope for business owners, somehow you are surviving these times. Because speaking of the Naira, somehow, these things affect businesses. Some people will say, okay, let's resort to transfers to be able to pay for commodities that we buy, or even services for that matter. Let's also remember the situation that we were trying to curtail before this Naira thing started. How that some people will not send you money and they tell you that they've sent money, fake alerts here and there. It has not stopped. It's still a thing. I'm praying for everybody who's doing business in Nigeria at this time. My God, it is not easy at all. So special shout out to you. Speaking of shout outs though, hey Derek, if your name is Derek and you're listening to me from anywhere in the world, I'd like to take our time to say hola, hola, hola. It's your day today if your name is Derek. There's another name I saw earlier before I get into other things of the day. What's that name? Oh my God, I can't remember what now. Give me a minute, I'm gonna have to look for it. I can't find it. Okay, I can't find it. But I know it's Derek's day. Jamie! Found it finally. Everyone named Jamie around the world. Hello to you, Jamie. It's your day today as well. Today seemed like a very big day because we have some really, big international events, world celebrations. For instance, this one that has got me in my feelings, like positive feelings though. It's World Radio Day. It's a big thing for me. I've been doing radio for a couple of years, a little over a decade, and it's the experience every single time I turn on the mic and I have to talk. It's like, oh my God, get it stuff. It's a big thing. So, World Radio Day was first proposed by Spain in September 2010, and it got backing from broadcasting associations around the world. So UNESCO decided to accept it officially in November 2011. It became a thing. So the cool thing about radio is it's still relevant and important in our daily lives. So there's going to be different arguments from different quarters, different times. People are going to say, oh, radio. Who listens to radio anymore? Trust me. People are listening to radio. Radio is not going anywhere. Rather, it's going everywhere. All right. So during those long drives for vacation or maybe to work, from home to work, people who drive their vehicles, you listen to radio. The radio is still with you. It keeps you company. You're listening to songs. You're listening to information, anything. It's just a great radio experience, as I like to put it. So it's a great thing to celebrate Radio Day. Never think that radio is going anywhere. It is around. It's, in fact, as I said, going everywhere. Shout out to radio. Radio Day. Yes, as I said, there are a couple of international events today. It's also International Natural Day. Yeah, it's a day before Valentine's Day to remind you to love yourself without seeking affirmation from anyone else. Right. Also called International Day of Self-Love. It is celebrated to dilute the emphasis on, conformance to society's expectations. You have to be like this, you have to be like that, else you're not beautiful. Remember the other day we were talking about how that skin bleaching has become a thing that NAFDAC had to, tag on that state of emergency. They've declared a state of emergency on skin bleaching. Why are people under pressure? Why do they think that they need to bleach their skin? It's still about this societal thing, this societal construct of what beauty is, the definition, the standard. Some people think that if you're not light-skinned, you're not beautiful. Or if you're light-skinned, half of your problems are solved. Calm down. Nothing against light-skinned people. In fact, if you're light-skinned, SO to you, shout out to you. But for people who are dark-skinned, I think it's time to begin to love yourself in your skin. So clap your hands and raise a toast for the most important and beautiful person in your life. And guess who that is? That's you. That's you, baby. You are absolutely beautiful. International Self-Love Day it is. Yes. Let's see. International Internet Friends Day. Say hello to your friend wherever it is that they are. It's time to take our time to reach out to them. International Epilepsy Day too. No, do you know that epilepsy is actually one of the world's oldest known diseases? Right, epilepsy. It's a big deal. So today, people take our time to, learn more about epilepsy. How do you prevent it if you can? Handle it or manage it. Everything that you need to know about epilepsy. It's also international. I don't want to mention, but it's something. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, one of the most used commodities tomorrow. Yeah, you know what I mean. Anyway, so those are a few, things that we're marking today, 13th of February. Apology Day it is as well. And Kiss Day. Yeah, Kiss. Yes, Kiss. And it has to be sure of the spelling. It's Kiss Day as well. I read something earlier. No kidding. I'm going to tell you what I read. I read somewhere that kissing is actually therapeutic, especially when you're kissing someone you care about. It's not me that said it, so you can go do your research yourself. I'm not even joking. It's therapeutic. You want to find out? All right, go grab someone that agrees. Consent is very important. Okay, 5:19 p.m. So what have we been doing here on Citizen FM 93.7 like all day? Typical, of course. It's a Monday, so yes, regular weekday broadcasting came your way. 6 to 9 a.m., 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Started off with Super Citizen at sunrise. Ezemo was on ground, of course, and his guest today was engineer Michael Oluwagbemi. And they talked about addressing resounding issues around Asiwaju's candidacy. It's time for politics. 12 more days, right? Yeah, 12 more days to the presidential and National Assembly elections. And then March 11, we're going to have the second leg, which is for governors, state governors and state houses of assembly. Yes. So the summary of the conversation centered around how that supporters believe that his track record speaks for him. That's Asiwaju Bola Tinubu of the APC, while others believe that it is hard to separate him from the wins and failures of the current government. He's running on the platform of the APC now. Nigeria, we haven't really left that place yet, where you cannot separate party from the individual a lot of times. In fact, there was a time it was campaign of vote this particular thing, vote the logo. But I think now, people are paying more attention to individuals than party logos, But there's still a long way to go on that anyway. So at 10 o'clock to 11, Insight came your way. Dr. Law Mefo was guest, and of course, elections in a few days' time was the focus of concentration. 4-year term. That's how they start. It's supposed to be for 4 years, though, but we know how it goes. After the first 4 years, when I hear a declaration, oh, I'm ready. My people said I should come and run for a second term. Oh, you now start hearing support groups, organizations. And I say, oh my God, we are begging this president to come and run for a second term. Because he's done tremendously well in his first term. So he should come again. And then he comes and runs, and then there's an 8-year equation. That's how it goes every time. Anyway, so Inside lasted until 11. At 11, Midday with Mina started, and it lasted until 12. Mina was on ground with Mr. Bamidele Loveson, and they talked about 10 businesses one can start with 50,000 naira. Did you hear that? 50,000 naira. Sometimes we are what holds us down. No diss intended. Just listen to that. Just hear me say it again, and then this time, just take it in good faith. Sometimes we are the ones stopping ourselves, like you are the one stopping yourself. If there's any business you can do with 50,000 naira, if there's any business you can start with 50,000 naira, why don't you start it if you don't have anything you're doing yet? I know, they say, oh, how do we keep it up? 50,000 naira, it'll crash. That will happen, this will happen. Start first. Let's see it. Start. Full details on each business, profits, procedures, and equipment were provided today. I hope you listened. Otherwise, you can just rush onto YouTube and have a replay of that midday with Mina. Today's edition, 13th of February, 2023. Then you can learn a thing or two. There are a couple of businesses that you can start with only 50,000 naira in Nigeria. And no, it is not going to be you in the office with AC chilling. You need to learn how to start small. Allow yourself to be able to reason that you can start where you are. All right, so that'll be about that. That was until 12 when Perspectives came your way. Juliet E.C. Here was a guest today. I'm talking about Rayo. Rayo Motosho was the host today. Femi Okunola joined in on phone, and Abisola Olori also joined in on phone, and they talked about women in politics and, of course, World Radio Day, which is very important to us. So gender should not determine the selection of our leaders. Women should also be given an opportunity in the political world. But my own question when I was listening to the show is, are women giving themselves an opportunity? Sometimes nobody will give it to you. You have to take it. You really have to take it. Anyway, and then at 3, Politics Now came your way with Ernest. Well, the guest didn't show up. These things happen sometimes, you know, you never know. There are always unforeseen circumstances. Yeah, at times like that. But we move, right? No slowing down, we move. And he talked about how can we achieve a united Nigeria, devoid of ethnic bias and religious intolerance. We're supposed to be over that by now. We should have moved beyond that. So the aggregate view of the callers was that unity of purpose is the biggest challenge of, you know, the administration that we're experiencing right now. And so if we're able to, you know, bring our people together as one, there is no challenge that we cannot surmount. You know, people divided against themselves, very easy to pull down. But when we are united, there is nothing we cannot do. That's why I love this particular ident that we have on Citizen FM 93.7, talking about a people united can never be divided. Don't forget that, whatever you are. All right, I'll take a break at this time. And when I come back, more coming your way on Super Citizen at Sunset today, February 13, 2023.
This is our journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. People united will never be defeated.
Let's take you back, way back. Let's celebrate the African people, culture, rich heritage, and wealth of excellence on African vibes.
I am Nigeria. I am Nigerian. I am a citizen. Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja.
Citizen FM 93.7, 5:26 p.m. Let's take a few things. Let's take a look at a few interesting events that happened on this day in history. So while some parts of the world, humans were, you know, warming up to celebrate Valentine's Day and all, Patrice Lumumba, if you remember that name. No, not Patrick Lumumba, not the Kenyan person. I'm talking about Patrice Lumumba, who was former Prime Minister of DR Congo, that's Democratic Republic of Congo. It was on this day in 1961 that he got shot. Yes. And on this day in 1960, France ran a test on an atomic bomb in Algeria. And something more Yeah, just another thing, interesting information. Quickly now, Switzerland, who had asked for international confirmation of its neutrality, saw it come to pass on this day. That's much I can take. But yes, bottom of the hour, I'll be back and I'll take us through some interesting information on what's happening around Nigeria at this time. I know it's 11 days to the election, so political conversations are very loud this season. But hey, somebody is making some remarks and DSS is calling to their office to come and answer questions, and he's responding by saying he's used to detention and interrogations, and we're wondering, does that sound decent at all? Should you be saying that at this time? Anyway, I'll tell you all about that when I return. Citizen FM 93.7. Just stay with us.
We teach girls shame. Close your legs. Cover yourself. We make them feel as though by being born female, they're already guilty of something.
So I think right now we have the chance to be heard, and that's why we're doing it. We're all doing it because we're asking to try and elicit change.
No woman should sit down and allow a man to speak about her reproductive rights.
But it is about opening spaces for other women and not to be seen as token, and that because I'm a woman I'm only speaking about women at the table. No, I'm speaking about side of the table that is empty and the women have to be there. So
I want us to leave this world better than we found it, and how I choose to affect change is by speaking up, by being the first, and by being the dominant.
Over 4 billion of the world's population are girls and women, also faced with challenges that affect our world and contributing solutions to them. Let's have conversations and get some answers to them through their eyes and voices. Tune in to Perspectives, where we discuss important issues ranging from climate change, politics, health, the economy, and lifestyle on Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja. Weekdays from midday. Perspectives. Conversations that matter.
Oh, Dodi, what shall we do?
What shall we do?
What shall
Abuja? You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital.
5:33. That's what the time is. It is still Super Citizen at sunset, and it's time to take you on a trip around Nigeria and, of course, parts of Africa, if we do have time, to bring you updates on what's happening around the world. So, first of all, just to give you headlines from other parts of Africa, we're hearing reports from Zambia that they're declining the calls to allow World Bank to restructure their China's loan. They're saying no, they can handle it themselves. And reports from Uganda. So there's this thing that's been happening in Nigeria for a while. Some private institutions, private universities particularly, are coming down very hard on students who have smartphones. They're not allowing them to, enter the school facilities with these phones. They're turning them back and saying, oh, okay, if you have your phones, your smartphones, please, when you're coming to school, keep them. We don't need you to come into school with these phones, but you're allowed to use, those smaller phones that are not smartphones. In Uganda, they made a move today, and the rest of the world felt like, you'll be doing that too? So Uganda University, they're banning cameras. But this one is not just in schools, it's at a graduation ceremony. And that's why this is catching attention. Because it's not even an issue of phones, it's cameras, particularly digital cameras. It's saying you cannot come to graduation ceremonies with digital cameras. And then the question is, how do we then save up memories? I thought the idea of graduations and taking pictures is for them to serve as memories so that 10 years down the line, 20 years, or even at Thanksgiving or family reunion service or whatever, I could pull out pictures, even to show my grandchildren. I'm talking years and several years from now. How am I supposed to save these memories if we are not allowed to come to graduation centers with cameras? What are we to use? We'll be looking at that in a bit, but hey, let's come back to Nigeria for a bit now, shall we? Okay, so there's the back and forth. Now, this is very important. Normally, this won't even, be a big deal because these meetings happen every now and again. Every move, we're just seeing that the CBN governor is at the presidential villa having a meeting with the president. What happens after these meetings, we really don't know. But because of where we are right now in the country, the cash crunch situation, how that everyone's ears are just waiting to hear updates and hear, okay, this is the next move. We're just waiting to hear, just to give you update though. Today, just earlier today, the president and the CBN governor got an MFLA. They had a meeting today, but of course the details of that meeting has not been released yet. Once they are they're released, be sure that we'll be bringing you up to speed as soon as possible. Now, taking stock of how many times I've had meetings in the last couple of weeks, it's been about 6 times though. No kidding, it wasn't like this. No, the meetings weren't this frequent. But since this decision on the cash policy, the scarcity of cash in Nigeria and all of those, meetings have been happening quite often, and we're hoping that at the end of the day, Nigerians will smile, because we really do need to smile. And INEC, I want to believe that you may have seen this story before. Maybe you haven't really sat down to get details of it, so I'll take you through, all right? Earlier today, the chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, stated that some polling units will not be seeing registration, voting happen at these polling units, right? Anyway, the reason for that is 240 polling units, particularly across 28 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Just so you know, he's saying that no individual, not one person, not one registered voter has indicated interest to transfer to any one of those 240 polling units across the 28 states of Nigeria, including the Federal Capital Territory. No one person has decided that they want to vote at this polling unit. That's why there will not be elections at these polling units. Not for anything else, okay? I don't know what you heard, but it's just important to clarify that. Let's hear what he had to say. He said, "Let me therefore start with the issue of polling units. You may recall that in 2021, with your support and that of other critical stakeholders, the Commission successfully expanded voter access to polling units 25 years after the last delimitation exercise in 1966. Consequently, the number of polling units increased from 119,973 to the current figure of 176,846. At previous meetings, we also briefed you on our efforts to redistribute voters to polling units in order to avoid the congestions that made voting cumbersome in many of them nationwide. Now, this requires the redistribution of voters to new polling units in proximate locations where they are separated by distance, and then this must be done after consultation with voters. However, this is where it gets interesting. However, there are 240 units without registered voters spread across 28 states and the FCT. They range from 1 polling unit to 12 polling units in each state and the FCT, except Taraba and Imo states with 34 and 38 polling units respectively. No new registrants chose the polling unit, and no voters indicated interest to transfer to them during the last continuous voter registration, mainly for security reasons. This means that no election will hold in these polling units. You got that? So, if by any means anyone had indicated interest and said, hey, I would like to vote at this polling unit, maybe, just maybe, we won't be talking about no voting at these polling units. So now you know the reason why. According to INEC, I need to reiterate that according to INEC, the only reason why elections are not happening at these polling centers is because no one wanted to vote at those places. So, hey, just so you know, INEC is also saying that they will make available to Nigerians a comprehensive list of polling units by their names, their codes, their locations, state, local government registration areas, everything that you need to know. So with this development, the number of polling units where elections will hold nationwide, that's for the presidential elections, that's February 25, and the governors and state houses of assembly elections, which is supposed to hold on March 11. Polling units total 176,606. All right. So hard copies of the list have been included. Above all, Nigerians deserve the right to know the location of these polling units. Accordingly, soft copy of the list has been uploaded to the website. If you want to check, you can just log on to INEC website now and, check very quickly. Social media platforms as well, where INEC run, they've also said that they've been made public. Okay, so you know what to expect on election days. Come 2023 elections, the one we've been waiting for since several years ago. So that's the update so far. Other stories now. Please, you can call me up. I'm sorry. Call me up. The numbers are 0818 22 22 205. 0818 22 22 205, or you can also call 0903 22 29 797. That is 0903 22 29 797, or you can also call 0808 22 22 037. Got that? 0808 22 22 037. Oh my God, wrong click. Pardon me. I'm sorry. All right, call me again when you can. Coup allegation. My God. This one has been very loud. Femi Fani-Kayode is in the news. Why? Because of a statement that he made during the course of the weekend, and the DSS has invited him to come and answer some questions. So, what I find interesting about the story is the disposition to everything, It is the attitude, right, to the situation. We know that today, for instance, he's been with the DSS, from about 9 a.m. till very late in the afternoon. If he's left, then it wouldn't be over just a few hours ago. It would just be like a few hours ago that he left, because we know that he's been there for a while. And so far so good. He's talked about how that, he's just an invitation to come and explain what he said. And he's already used to detentions, invitations as this one, and it's no biggie at all. But again, what he said, why was he invited in the first place, is what begs to be, addressed. Because he made some very hitting remarks, hitting statements, so to say, claimed that certain politicians are working with the military high command over possible coup. To, ensure that the 2023 elections don't see the light of day. At a time like this, those kind of statements would not be considered okay. Because look at that, 11 days to defer to the elections in Nigeria, and you're insinuating, in fact, not just insinuating, you're categorically saying that what is happening in the country is that some politicians are working with military high command over possible coup. No. You would need to come in and answer questions. You would need to tell us your source, how you got to know about this, seeing that you're not just any man on the street. You are the Femi Fani Kayode of Nigeria, one-time Minister of Aviation, PCC, Presidential Campaign Council Director. I mean, look at that. Your CV is strong. So if you're talking like this, it means that you know something that we don't know. So please, can you come forward and tell us exactly what we need to know? Should we be more careful? Should we be worried as a people? I think those are some of the questions that he's answering.
Journey. We've had our finest moments and our darkest hours. Yet we pull ourselves back from the brink every time. We are a resilient people. We are Nigeria. And when we talk, we share our views on Talk Radio 93.7 Citizen FM. People united will never be defeated.
I am Nigeria. I am Nigerian. I am a citizen. Citizen FM 93.7 Abuja.
Let's take you back, way back. Let's celebrate the African people, culture, rich heritage, and wealth of excellence on African vibes.
Recent developments from other parts of Africa. Let's do that in the time that we have. 5 minutes, thereabouts. My God, how time flies, right? So, okay. Makerere University, one of Africa's most prestigious universities, has banned students and parents from bringing cell phones to the graduation ceremony. Let's take this call and then return to the story. Hello to you.
Hey, good evening.
Good evening.
Happy World Radio Day.
Hey, in fact, thank you. You deserve a round of applause. Thank you. All right. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
How was your weekend?
Weekend has come and gone. Looking forward to the next one. From Monday. Please go ahead.
The CBN governor meeting with the president. Like we have said now, the meeting has happened 6 times.
I'm telling you.
And after all these 6 times, we have not seen workable solution. We are still seeing Nigerians suffer. As it stands right now, even people are rejecting the gold naira, despite the 7 days grace period given by the CBN governor. But people are rejecting the gold naira. So I don't know. Is it that there's not a lot of enlightenment, or what is going on? Because the hardship
is hard. The hardship is really hard. I said the hardship is really hard.
We still decide the hardship.
But let me ask you this question: have you tried to get cash from inside a bank?
Come again.
Have you tried to get cash from inside a bank? Like, did you enter any bank in the last couple of days to try to get cash?
I have not. I have not. I have not.
Okay.
The only place I have been like in a bank ATM.
Okay, and what's the situation like?
Sometimes you go get, if you get 10K, 20K, sometimes you don't go get totally.
Wow.
So that's all the situation on. But before you get that, man, you have to pay.
I know.
Pay. You have to be patient. If you be patient, you have to be patient.
Oh God, this is not even funny at all. But as I said earlier, let's keep fingers crossed and hope that these meetings would actually yield something at the end of the day.
Do we have any other
option?
We don't get any other option now. We have to be hopeful.
Right.
They say keep hope alive. Our case now like keep hope alive. So our hope is alive. And INEC chairman, and let me say he will mention the state, the place where these polling units are located.
No, but the information has been made public. Have you tried to check INEC website?
I will go to the website now. I will go to the website now. For me, what I want to say here is this: I would have loved those people whose polling units are affected. Let them speak out. Let's know why.
No. The explanation, right? Are you there?
Yes,
the explanation from Mahmoud Yakubu, that's INEC chairman so far, is that there is not a person who says that they want to vote at these places. So it's not like anybody's polling unit has been affected. Nobody even wants to go there. That's why I even took that story.
Wait, so you may say Nigerians, with the way things are happening,
right?
People don't want to go there.
They said nobody. Should I read that part again?
No, I heard you now.
So according to INEC explanation now, which is what we have, unless someone turns up and says, oh, no, that's not what happened though. We were here, we want to vote at this place. Unless that happens, we cannot insist that elections should happen at these places because they've said they went there, they wanted to do. But there is nobody at those places who said, oh, yes, so we want to vote at these places. No, it's in fact, look at it says no voter indicated interest to transfer to those units during the last continuous voter registration due to insecurity. Hence, there was a reduction in the polling units for elections.
Wow. Now, this one, it caused me speechless because as I hear radio, when people they shout, we vote. I think all of us will be on the same page.
We are, but what if they decided to go to other polling units, closer to, for instance, maybe they went, these things are mostly rural communities. What if they went to maybe their mother's side or their father's side? They will vote, but not at some of these polling units, as they have described, due to insecurity. 240 polling units, and it cuts across 28 states and the FCT. So you can imagine, right? It's not concentrated in one state too.
Didi, make I just go here make I go get you.
Yes, please. Yes. Fantastic idea. All right, thank you, Patrick. Oh my God. Sorry. Good evening. Let me see that message. Give me a minute. Let me see if I can read it out very quickly. What's going on? It's unclear. Call me. I think it's very easy for you to call 0903 22 29 797. That's one of the numbers. 0903 22 29 797. My God, we have just 3 more minutes to go. I need to take those stories from other parts of Africa. The ones I mentioned, it won't be fair if I rounded off the show and just gave headlines without details. Okay, so I was talking about how Makerere University, that is celebrated around the world as one of Africa's most prestigious universities, has told students and parents that they should not bring cell phones to the graduation ceremony. Starting to do. It's a lineup of events in Kampala. Don't bring it. Don't bring cameras. Don't bring cell phones. Okay? It's supposed to continue tomorrow anyway. Students from the Colleges of Education and External Studies, Agriculture, Environmental Sciences, they will graduate, but they will not be allowed to take pictures. And for me, I asked the question, I said, what's the point of these events if I don't have an opportunity to keep memories that I can pull up one day and show my grandchildren and say, oh, look at that. This was the day I wore my convocation gown. This was the day this happened, or that was the day that happened. And that was the idea of pictures. Right? But they said, no, don't bring them. Don't bring them at all. Yeah. Oh. Why, though? Why? They haven't really said why. But we know that there's a lineup of events. The graduation ceremony is supposed to pan out the entire week. On Monday today, they started. Tomorrow, we're seeing students from education, external studies. On Wednesday, animal resources, biosecurity will graduate. On Thursday, business school will also graduate their students in various disciplines, and the graduation will close on Friday with students from colleges of humanities and social sciences, engineering, and other departments rounding off the ceremony. Anyway, let's move to Zambia very quickly. Time. Okay, so Zambia, they said no. I think that's a very good way to put it. They said no. Stay away from us. World Bank, leave it. We will find a way around it. It's China. Sorry, they're rejecting China's call for World Bank to join its debt restructuring. So it was the finance minister who said in an interview that the Southern African country is aiming to settle a loan of about $13 billion in 2023, 3 years after it had defaulted on it. But even after defaulting, they're not wavering. They're still insisting that they'll find a way to sort out the situation. So, whatever intervention these other countries are trying to, pull forth for them, they said, keep it. We're not interested. And I think some other African countries should be able to make moves as this one. It may be hard, it may be really tough, but see some of these loans, interventions, and policies, they're not exactly to your gain at the end of the day if you read between the lines really carefully. Let's stay safe, people. I'll be back top of the hour, 6 o'clock, to take the news. Stay with us. It is Citizen FM 93.7.
Hello, Abuja. You are listening to 93.7 Citizen FM, the latest radio station based in Nigeria's capital.